Hi everybody, I'm Kyle and this is In The Workshed. Today we'll be showing off different recipes for fake blood. Now I know fake blood, it is going to be a little squeamish, so if anyone's a little, have a fear of blood or anything like that, you may want to skip it. But we're going to be showing different recipes for fake blood, especially when you can use them in LARP. So we have a few really cool ideas, one with cocoa powder, we have one with chocolate syrup, and probably one that most people would know, and that is with corn syrup. All of which can be used in LARP and it is consumable. But with that being said, let's begin. The first one we're going to do is called chocolate fake blood. Now a lot of this I found online and we're just going to be trying out a few recipes, and the first one we're going to be doing is fake chocolate blood. So let's begin. First off, what we're going to need here is we're going to need some cornstarch. You can find any of this at any local store. We're going to need cornstarch, cocoa, and some hot water, and of course our various food colorings. So first things first, we're going to go with a half cup of warm water, nice and gentle, there we go. Next up, we're going to be needing 4 tablespoons of corn I have to try that again, because it's corn syrup, not cornstarch. Corn syrup, not cornstarch, same thing. You want to use light cornstarch because dark cornstarch is darker, so you definitely want to see the color. So we're going to be using light cornstarch here. We're going to need 4 tablespoons of it. 1. Doesn't have to be super precise, but there we go. So after that, we're going to need a tablespoon of powdered cocoa. And just clean this off here to get our powdered cocoa. Once again, just go down the baking aisle. You can find all of this just right there. And it's relatively cheap. All this will cost less than 10 bucks. There's our powdered cocoa. And now finally, we're going to need the food coloring. So we're going to do this and start blending it together to make sure it's nice and even. Okay, there we go. There's still some chunks left, but that's okay for now. And then finally, our red food coloring. We need a teaspoon of red food coloring. So let's get our teaspoon out. It won't be a lot. Uh-oh. The ring in there. That's okay. There we go. A teaspoon of red food coloring. Let's just get this out. Oh my goodness. There we go. Add all of that right there. And here we go once again. You can see just like that, we got a nice watery looking bit here. So we're going to try to thicken that up just a little bit with just some more powdered syrup, and you can see all over my hands. And as always, these are consumable. That's pretty nice.
That's disgusting looking. It looks really vile.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that. Look at that.
So let's just let's try a little bit, shall we? One of my other little spoons here. Oh, geez. And you can see when it's on the skin, it looks so much better with that. So let's try a little bit of this. It actually tastes a lot like lukewarm hot cocoa, actually. The corn syrup certainly adds a lot to the the sugar of it, because cocoa itself, when it's raw, it has no sugar added, and that's why you kind of have to mix them all. But you can see with that. I've been told by the producers, Roy, that I have to do a skin test now, so we're actually gonna see what this actually does to me. And let's just get one little mix. Look at that. All right. Oh no, the slasher's coming at me, and now, as opposed to real blood, it doesn't beat up quite like that, you can see, but this is really quick and easy, and it is definitely safe. And you can see when it's in the pan, the color's really good, and it's pretty simple to do. The next one is definitely going to be a little bit more, but you can see kind of how it affects the skin. Be careful, we'll definitely make a disclaimer at the end, but don't get around close. This recipe is going to be very thick and very spooky, so let's begin. first things first, we're going to want to add cornstarch, and we're going to need 5 tablespoons of this. And also, we're going to be using some cocoa afterwards, so let's just get this going. Now, this is going to be the thickening agent. You can get cornstarch at any kind of baking aisle. Now, let's add a tablespoon of cocoa. And we're going to be mixing all of this with 1/3 cup of hot water. Not to be hot, it's warm. But we want to make sure this is what we want to really make sure it gets nice and coated, because this is going to be the really thick part of this. You can see just how thick it is. It's falling in ribbons. We just want a little bit more. Not all of the cornstarch is being mixed up extra well. So you really want to work it in there. Now we're going to do 2/3 cup of our light corn syrup again. And we're just going to mix this in nice and easy. There we go, just like that. And you can see there's a nice color to it. You can even see the strands of the cornstarch. So this brown color is a really nice base to start with. So we're going to add a little bit of green or yellow, just a tiny bit, a few drops. 1, 2. A few drops of green. We're going to do a single drop of yellow just to even it out, because this is going to get very, very dark red real fast. So next we're going to need a few teaspoons of red food coloring. So let's get the red in here now. It's okay if you run out. Another thing you can do is when you get a lot of food coloring like this, you can definitely go to like a baking store. A lot of baking, dedicated culinary stores will carry like a hefty amount of food coloring. It doesn't have to be like expensive or anything like that, just any food coloring will do. And you can even see now, it's now starting to turn, but it's nowhere near what we need. Just a little bit more now. We want a nice deep red. 1, 2, 3. There we go. This should come out. There we go. Look at that. This is good. It's nice and thick. You can even see how it falls real ropey like that. It's not forming ribbons like when we did before, but it's definitely a heck of a lot thicker. You can kind of mix it in there. Why we have the green and the yellow is actually for just color balancing. It could become out too dark and it won't help with the brown, but you can see just how real nice that comes out. Boom, just like that. All right, and that's pretty much good and done. If you ever run into this and you want just a little bit more, some blue can definitely help even it out and give you a little bit darker tone. So let's add a little bit of that and see if we can get it just a little bit darker. There we go. Put some blue in there. There we go. It has a little bit deeper, richer hue you can see now. Yeah, there we go. Nice, dark and red. As is tradition, we shall do the skin test. And let's get that all cleaned off, and here we go. So we'll get some of this. And no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die! You can see definitely on the skin, real dark red color. And you can see how it doesn't have that pooling part like the last one did. A little bit here and there, but you can definitely tell a difference with this. It's falling, it's not as runny, it's definitely coming down a little bit slower, and taste. Oh, that's much more bitter chocolate. Don't drink blood, kids. Oh, that is not as consumable. All right. Now that we got through the last 2 ones, this is the one I'm actually really excited for. This is with chocolate syrup now. So let's get started. As always, we're going to start with our corn syrup here. We just need 1/2 cup of our good old corn syrup. There's 1/2 cup. We're going to need a tablespoon of cornstarch. And as always, we want to mix this up early just to really get it worked in there. As always, no chunks. Blood isn't chunky until it is. All right, there we go. You can see really thickening up. And just to help with that, we're gonna add a tablespoon or two of chocolate syrup. Now, the realistic blood tasted pretty bad, so I'm gonna add 2. And we have nondescript brand chocolate syrup, my favorite. Once again, go back, mix it up. We just want to try to loosen this just a little bit before we go and add our cocoa powder. And now finally, we shall get 1 teaspoon of our good old friend, equally nondescript cocoa. Mix this up now. And finally, once we get this all in there, we will go ahead and, ooh, that's getting puffy. And then finally, we will add some food coloring. You can see just how good, and this is significantly thicker. This is definitely the thickest one. So, the recipe is just asking for red, and I think we're gonna do what we did last time. We're gonna add a touch of green as well as some red. Try to really help that color along. Yeah, it's only saying to add a few drops, so we'll go by the recipe. This is just with a little bit of red. You can see it's kind of the consistency of brownie batter. Probably a little bit easier, probably like cake batter. I like brownies though. So you can see with this is what it looks like with just the red. You can see it's kind of pale. It still has a little bit of that brown tinge to it. Almost wants to be like auburn or something like that. So we're going to enhance it just a tiny bit with some blue, purple, green can also work. We're going to do a touch of green. Touch-o green. Why not we add some purple because we need to darken this just a little bit. There we go. 1, let's do 2 drops. Looks like 2 of green, 2 of purple. We'll mix it up and we'll see how that color changes. There, yeah, you can see much thicker, and kind of looks the consistency of the first one here, but that chocolate syrup and cornstarch really thickened it up. So, yeah, once more into the breach. Ooh, 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 that's good. Wow. That tastes a lot more like a much more syrupy cake batter. It actually is really good. I'm getting a sign from production. Yep, I have to do the skin test. Here we go. Why, Grandma? What big fangs you have? Oh. Okay, this is where I'm just pouring cake batter on myself. Color didn't turn out quite as good, but it is significantly tastier. Like, this would definitely be one that you would definitely use in like a confection or something like that. Don't taste like cake. So I'm definitely all for that one.
So because the idea of this is that we're going to use this in a LARP project, and,
Yes.
and it might go into a friend's face. So
Yes.
between these two, I mean, this one is just way too
Thick.
This one didn't taste that bad,
No.
and it still looks pretty good. But this one, just, I mean, you're a big fan of murder stuff, and that is just a beautiful, clear, like, very realistic looking. Tastes dreadful.
Yes,
Tastes horrible.
tastes dreadful, but a lot of that is definitely a lot of that is a lot of food dye, like teaspoons of food dye. So the problem with that, and you can even see on my hands just how much it's stained. The first one was the cocoa on your far left there. That cocoa one did have a bit of food coloring in it, and it also stained a little bit. The realistic one in the center was definitely the most egregious.
Yeah.
The one on the end though, one cleaning up, that cleaned up actually really fast.
This one cleaned up really well?
Yeah, so the idea is this is all edible. While the realistic doesn't taste that good, it is still edible and it is safe. But with a LARP, we really got to be careful of people's costuming in their skin, and you can see how badly it's stained. So, if you were going to use it as a prop to ingest, definitely any one of these is good. The syrup one's probably the best one. It'll have the look that you want, but it won't be realistic.
Yeah.
If you wanted to essentially use it as makeup, like prop makeup, and you don't have actual blood to buy, you can make any of this. Like, all this stuff was pulled from my pantry, and if not, it's really, really cheap to get. The only thing I really had to get was food coloring, but you can find that really any store, any kitchen store will have it too, which is what the realistic is great for. Makeup stuff, especially around your mouth, that's gonna look the absolute best, hands down.
So thank you very much, Kyle, for coming in with us. This was awesome.
Yeah.
And I know we have a few more ideas, so we're not going to throw these out just yet. We're gonna try to use this for a couple other ideas. So again, thank you, Chef Kyle. We'll be seeing you again very shortly in another video.
Excellent.
And thank you guys for watching In The Workshed. Happy Halloween. All right.
Yeah.
See you all next time on Breaking Character.
That was terrifying.
Yep.